Hi guys, and hi Jason.
Good morning.
Good morning. Today I would like to talk about gifted money. And I would like you to explain us a little bit about it. There are buyers that qualified for a loan and they have a good job, good credit, and then they realize that they don't have enough money for down payment and closing costs. So they call mom and dad and ask for some money, and the parents say, okay, we're going to give you some 40K. And so I wonder what happened now when they get to the underwriting and they see that his money just show up in their account, $40,000.
Yeah.
So if you can explain us a little bit, what is the best way to do it, how the buyers can be prepared before they get into the process, or there is a shortcut that can help them.
Yeah, absolutely. So I think the first thing that's important to share is that the government requires that we very carefully paper trail all money that comes into a real estate transaction. The government takes money laundering very seriously, and real estate is a very easy way that people launder money. So because of that, we are required to very closely document any money coming into a real estate transaction. So with that being said, when you have a parent, for example, that's giving a large sum of money, like $40,000, we have to go through a process to verify that. So there's a couple of things that I'll preface to this by saying. Number one, depending on the loan type, the requirements might be a little different, but just focusing on a conventional loan, someone who's got good credit and good income, it's a really easy process. So there's a couple of things I'll say. Number one, generally speaking, the donor, the person giving the money, needs to be a family member or a fiance. So if someone's engaged to be married, that's okay as well. But those two things, we typically want to see that the gift is coming from a family member. That's number one. And then in terms of what the family member needs to provide, they need to sign a gift letter. So this is a letter that we as a lender put together that basically says that mom is going to gift daughter or son $40,000 for the purchase of 123 Main Street, and no repayment is required. And so we just send that to everyone to be DocuSign, and then that goes into the file. Now, there can be some additional documentation that could be required. So this is why, to your question of what's the easiest way to go about it, the way that I typically recommend my clients go about it is to have the parents wire the money directly to escrow at the very end of the transaction, because it's fine if they want to give it to the kid in advance, but when they do that, we then have to paper trail it, right? So we have to get an updated bank statement to show that the money came in the account. We need to get a copy of the check to show that the money came from the account that's on the gift letter. Whereas if they send the money directly to escrow at the end, we don't have to do any of that. So yeah, so it's that's the easier way we go about it.
Okay, so let's say if my friend gifted me the money, he probably should deposit it in my account for 3 months, like at least 3 months before we get into the process.
Yeah, so the government, in terms of the requirements they have of us, is we need at least a 60-day history of the bank account. So we don't care about what happens prior to 60 days. So okay. If there's money that's owed to someone, I lend money to someone and they need to pay me back, something like that, or I have a friend who's gifting me money, something like that. In those scenarios, I just typically say, look, you're going to have to get it in your account, and we're going to have to wait for 2 billing cycles to go through. So I've got 2 statements that show that there's no big, large deposit that I have to explain.
All right. Well, you make it more clear. So last question. I'm Israeli, and I want to ask for my dad to transfer money from Israel to United States. So it's a foreign country that money can transfer from foreign country to American bank.
Yes.
Can it cause some problems, or it's basically the same process?
Yeah, I wouldn't say it causes problems, but there can be some documentation issues when it comes to foreign assets. So first things first, we need to make sure that the money now goes into a US institution, right? So if it's coming into a US bank, that's the most important thing. And then the other piece is we need to review any statements from that account that it's coming from need to be in English. So this is oftentimes the most difficult part of it, is that if we have to get a statement from your father in Israel, then we have to make sure that the statement is either in English or we have a translation of it. So that can sometimes be somewhat difficult. So in a lot of cases like that, again, if it's before 60 days, then we don't care. But if it's during our transaction, we just have to take those extra steps.
All right. Well, awesome information. Thank you so much. And we're looking forward to the next one.
Awesome. Thanks for having me.
Bye.